Try standing on one leg in the morning. Oh man.
No, we're up in the morning for work.
So John's in there doing it right now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It wasn't too tough getting up early. You didn't have that much.
let's go through fourth form instead of the first three, because we spend a lot of time on those already. So, ready? Eyes turn straight ahead. Pull back. Hup. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Bend. Open the stance. 1, 2, 3. Cross. Open. Fold. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Thrust. Fold. 1, 2. Trap. 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Other side. 1, 2, 3. Palm. Form the fist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open. Cover. Corner. 2. Corner. To the side. Get your full stance, full lean. Okay, center. 1, right about the chin level. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Open. Wrists. 1, 2. Okay, we're going to shift, pivot like this. 1, 2. Offset. Double block. Thrust. Turn. Left hand on top. Open. Sliding step. Punch. Punch. Turn. Double block. Pakbu stomp. Thrust. Turn. Open. 1, 2. 1. Chun kill. Scoop. Uppercut. Remove. Punch. Punch. Turn. Scoop. Uppercut. Remove. 1, 2. Step back. 1, 2. Sliding steps. Punch. Horse stance. 1. Waist level. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Corner back fist. Step. High back fist. Chun kill. Sliding step. Punch. Reach behind. Elbow. Strike down. Back fist. Cutting hand. Palm. Turn. Jump. Back fist. So actually, this back fist is to that corner. So once we land, 1. Sliding step. Palm. Go through center. Double block. Sink your elbow. Pull back. Double back fist. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Stop. 1, 2. Cat stance. Drunken fist. High. Step through. 1, 2. Scoop. 1, 2, 3. Turn. 1, 2, 3. Sliding step. Punch. Turn. Salute. 1, 2, 3. So Paul, you guys want to do the form? No, you want to do forms? Oh, okay. So let's deep breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. exhale. So let's just do that last section because I think Eddie's a little new on this. So let's do the palm, double palm, right? Turn. So open the hands, back fist. Yeah. So once you land, your back fist. So once we palm like this, we turn. So we face that corner. We're going here. So we go up, back fist, sliding step, palm, turn. Double back fist, pull back. Double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep going. 1, 2,
That one's set up right,
3.
and this one's about to.
Yeah,
sometimes it takes sometimes it spools like that.
No, mine spooled like that for an hour
Really?
because
Were you on HGCSF5 for Wi-Fi?
yeah, it's just telling me that that's not on.
Huh. That's weird.
Okay, you can try it again. Let's do it without the count now from beginning, right? Just follow. Paul, you want to lead it? You can run through from beginning to end. Just flow through it. Don't rush. Define the stances. And ready, go.
Don't do it now, Sigurd.
No, I'll just show you. It's not. I'm not doing it. It's just
No, I'm
actually.
saying if you try to connect while mine's about to connect, it's recognizing it.
Oh,
So if you bring yours up at the same time, it might throw me off.
if I did that, it would be just doing.
Yeah.
It's been doing that for 2 hours.
Wow. That's
In
crazy.
fact, I froze my phone. I had to shut it down. I turned it back on. Turned it on. It's still doing it.
Wow.
It kept telling me to turn the phone on. I mean, turn the thing on. Now that's reading blue, but it was green.
Yeah. It just jumped on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I mean, whatever it is, now it works. Right?
Well, the other
I'm here tomorrow anyways.
the other day, it did it, but it does.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember it worked fine.
Okay, good. All right. Deep breathing. So the sweep that we have in the end there is just the mechanism, the mechanics is really just like in the third form. So when we're here, let's face the mirror and let's just do the frontal view of this, right? So we're flipping like this. So the hands follow, right? 1, 2, 3, and then that elongates. Now when it elongates, you want to turn away like this. 1, 2, 3, and so what you're creating on the turn away is like a pulling. It's a separation, like you're splitting, right? So the hands go like this. So when you fold, you have the vertical, you have the horizontal, you have the vertical, you have, so essentially all you're doing is going like this, and like that, right? But when we look at the form, we have the 90 degrees here, and we have this hook position here. But you have to turn this way. So when we turn, when this hand starts to go out, we have to turn away like this. So this part of the turning is what creates the pull. So when your hand is here, this actually could be attaching or pulling or leading away like this. That becomes opposite. We know that that's what the hook is. Yes. So we have to get that waist motion going with the pull away. And the pattern of movement is really folding, dropping, flipping, and separating. So you go through two-dimensional movement with the pull away is just creating this motion, because what we have here is this motion, but this is the drawing. So when you intercept, the hand is really doing this. Right. So that's the hand movement. What are you striking with this? It could be to the eyes, it could be to the throat. So it's not necessarily always a takedown. But what happens is if I go like this and my foot goes here, when I go like this, then he might want to take a step back and he trips himself actually. So you could sweep or trip depending. So the action is this: you intercept here, this hand goes here. If you can see here, this hand is here. I pivot around like this, and then this hand becomes that, and then this. So there's where the separation is. So that's why it has to be. So not necessarily that you're doing this and then tripping like this. It could be like that, but a lot of times it's just boom. By the time this goes out, it goes like this. This could be just there. Distracted, yeah. Because when you go like this, then you would be off balance. So in the fourth form, it's the same, but it's actually, but if you angle your position, the hand is here, but you're coming like that. So sometimes in this instance, what you're doing is maybe capturing the elbow. See? Like this or like this. See? On this side. See? So that's what that's for. So we're not necessarily striking, but capturing, controlling the arm. And that's one of the things that they do is they catch the elbow because of the ligaments and tendons there. So that's what you're doing here. You know, there's a lot of techniques built into the form. So while we're learning the different movements and the different postures, we still really haven't put them into sort of a applicable technique. We just know that this word, what this is for, sort of the literal interpretation of it. But you know, a lot of movements that we have in transition, just say even the middle blocks that we do here. 1, 2, 3, right? Let's do a few of these. Just 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So a basic, a new person would be doing this. 1, 2, you know, kind of one-sided. It applies like that with the high blocks, one-sided, and they're broken. Low block, they're broken. But once you start to integrate the hands, then your hands actually go through your center, and you have a give and take on the two sides. You have a give and take on the two sides. So crossing the hands becomes a transition, becomes a transition. But that's actually a pretty valuable tool when you apply your techniques. Because we always talk about the center line. The center line is a line that you protect. It's also a line that you turn away from. So we have the center line, which is this. We have the 45-degree corners, right? So 45 degrees can be pivoting or going into that corner. Going into that corner, right? So we have these corner techniques. In the second form, we have this uppercut, this in the uppercut. Eighth form, we have this vertical punch, block with the punch, and we exchange. So the exchange in movement is really switching of hands. You have a cross hand position, which is this. The cross hand position could be any type of cross hand position, as long as they cross. But when they cross, you're exchanging the two sides. When I punch like this and I go like this, essentially I went through a cross hand position for a removal. When we're in uppercut position, I put my hand here, you have a crossing of the arms as a removal. So you're actually blending that movement by crossing and then separating the hands. So all the movements that we're learning, these techniques, is separating, combining, and splitting, right? So your hand positions, like in the second form, and the second form is that, right? So this is what we're doing. We go to the corner, right? So that's a back corner. This is a front corner. This is a front corner, you see? So that's a side step. So in self-defense, one of the first things you have to do is avoid, right? You want to be out of the way. So when we step off like this, that's a position. When we pass through center and turn back toward your opponent, there's your block, there's your dragon claw, there's your chun kill, right? So between this and this, this and this, transitions that you already learned, but you didn't put them in this formation. So when you turn the corner, which is really moving this way, and then this way, and this way, it's that exchange and blend of the two hand movements that create the technique. So that's why we move from one position to the next without resetting. You know, what does that mean? When you punch and then you move to a block, that's a response, right? When you punch and you move to a block, that's a response. When you punch and you move to a block, that's a response. That's a one-sided movement. And we learn to blend that side as an action, okay? All right, so like when I punch, here's my opening here. So he would go for that. Here's my opening here. He would go for that. So that's a one-sided movement. That's why when we do our basic drills, we have, you know, these techniques that work off the punch. When we go like this, and I go like this, we're going off of that, just like when we're going high, low, here to here. So that's a technique. So what happens when you walk to the corner and you exchange the hands, and you walk to the corner, exchange your hands, you essentially create the middle block technique and a side step. So we go in here, over here, and there's your technique. And why it's so important when you do these movements that you pass through here. This is just giving you an idea that when we're doing our forms, say in the double uppercut position, and we sit back and step, you have this exchange here. You see that? So it looks like this, right? If you look in the mirror, it looks like this. This creates that, right? This creates that. So that exchange is an important part of using your blocks or your techniques. So you have to learn when you're doing your forms to go through the postures that link together without the voids. Those voids allow the technique to be practical. So if you're in a double block position and you sink your elbow and you go back to dragon, you notice You go from one posture to the next, to the next. Some are tied together as that order of movement. So from here to here to here to here is a cycle. It goes from high to diagonal to up to down. That's a technique. When you block, you strike. If you block, you strike, block, they're reciprocating. You can use those movements interchangeably. Just like a dropping palm turns to a back fist. Back fist turns to a dropping palm. Or a trapping hand turns to a back fist and a dropping palm. So those three movements are a combination. Those are combinations that you get ingrained in your system as a response or technique. But what's missing? Missing is footwork, right? So we have this. We have this. We have continuous movements. So what's important is to slide, to slide, to slide, to slide, slide. That's advancing into your opponent to close the distance. You have to bridge the gap. Because when I block and I go like this, he's not going to be there. So you have to follow. You have to continue to follow. And that's what the footwork is for. So footwork, when you finish, this is just sort of fluid, but the focus point is at the point when everything stops. Because you have to be grounded when you execute this, so the power comes from the leg. So you have that where? In Bung Kuen, right? Bung Kuen. So there's the forward movement, there's the forward movement, there's the forward movement. So while we do that in the form, do we understand why you have to have that burst of energy in the hand and feet move? Because the momentum comes from the step. So that coordination is built over time. That's how your techniques have to be blended. So you know the Cheurng Shui, you know the back fist, you know the strike, the back fist, the strike, the sliding step. To bridge your gap after you block, to keep your opponent off guard, has to do with the footwork. So this is direct, this is avoiding changing directions, but then you have to change it back. So that's what we have to do to build the offensive side of the defensive movement. So that's a strategy, but you know, when we go like this and go like this, that's setting up as a fundamental. If we do a Cheurng Shui, like in the drill, that we do this, or even in the form, we have that, right? So if I'm here, boom, 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 and I'm turning that way, boom, 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 right? That's straight out of the fourth form. You say, well, I didn't see that in the fourth form. Where was that? Well, if I go like this, strike, right? Then I turn, then I punch. So this turn becomes that movement. But it looks completely different. So it's adapting the movement with a blend of a different footwork. So the footwork, we have it, you know, it's not obvious. When we do full hawk, we have a hook, we have a back fist and a palm, boom, 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 1, 2, 3. That's footwork leading you in that direction. So the sliding step is very important. Yeah. They call it sliding step, they call it biao bu. Biao bu, you move, you take the step, and you have to be able to bridge that gap. So the footwork that we have is actually forward and backward. You're moving away, you're moving forward, you move, you're here, you're here. It doesn't, once you put it into sparring technique, it looks completely different. It doesn't even look like form. But where's the agility of your footwork? It comes from shifting of your weight. When you move back and you move forward, there's the agility. Because once you move back, there's light. You can move this. So between this and this and this is how you step. Yeah, so you have to be fluid in your feet, not clumsy. You know, we try to do that regardless of whether it's Kung Fu or Tai Chi, agility of footwork. You know, why does this stuff work to improve balance? Why does, work for elderly people that have poor balance or, poor footwork, they fall? No agility, lower half, it's gone. Tension, lack of that motor skill. So when you practice this, when you get older, if you're agile on your feet, even you can move. I'm that age. I'm not worried about falling down, really. Not because I don't think about it, but I'm not worried about falling. When I went to that fall thing that they had 5 years ago, they were saying 60. I think it was really high percentage of 60-year-olds falling. And I'm thinking to myself, really? I know a lot of 60-year-olds. I don't see them falling at all. Just these guys are in their 60s. See, huh?
Because the 60-year-olds, you teach Tai Chi and Kung Fu.
Yeah, that's true. But
Slightly 70.
yeah, but no, it's just it's kind of, to me, it's kind of mainstream. There probably is a lot of that. I mean, Peter would know that. Peter would sees that a lot. In the hospitals is. And by the way, Andy fell down, broke his wrist, and he's in the Faulkner Hospital he's going to get an MRI to see if he's okay. He just went in. Andy Goldstein, he hasn't been really good on his feet since he had that. He had open heart surgery a while ago because he had a blockage. And he had a minor stroke after that.
How long ago? That was a long time ago, was it?
Huh?
When was that?
It's been pretty long, huh?
That was a while ago, right?
Yeah. Huh? A decade. It's been that, yeah. It's been, yeah. Time goes by pretty fast. I mean, I think in the past few years, it's really gotten a little worse because I think there's other stuff going on. But anyways, so you see when we step, the simplest way to think of stepping is to walk into the corner, right? You go in a leaning stance. So just fall. And if you fall, the weight's going to be there. And then you pass through your center, and there's your next step. If you pass through your center, it's next step. So you just have to go in increments of 45 degrees. If I move here is 45, I go back to center, or I go 45, and I turn the corner to create a 90. So that's the basic side step. And it's learning to shift your weight and how to move, coordinating your hands with your legs, right? So between this block and this gives you a sample of the one-sided movement. You're using this to avoid, and you're using this to follow up. The other way you can do it is to use the frontal hand and then exchange the back hand. So that's another way of doing that. Okay. So that's just, a sampling of it, of what we can do. And we already do this type of footwork anyways by moving in the corner. Now when we're using stances, that defines a connection between the hands and the legs. So while the form takes us into this corner, it doesn't mean that we can't go from here to here, right? Because when we go down like this, which is really that technique, you block and you change, right? So between this and this, low and this is just like this and this. You see what I mean? So we have the motions. They just define a palm back. You can chop, you can thrust, you can turn. Between this and this is that exchange. So right and left side, chun. So this is called chun kyo, piercing bridge. It's really like this. Right? So that's like in the Sun style Tai Chi, or we have it in Yehimon, right? So that's what that is. Chun kyo means a piercing bridge. A piercing only means to penetrate, piercing. Yeah. So chun is it. So every time you do this movement, it's a chun. You chun, you chun, you chun. So everything comes. So when we do the drills, like we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, it should be actually chun. You know, we throw those punches and we do the punching drills. We punch like this, but actually, it goes up like this too. That's it. Yeah. So that's actually coming in and then coming down. So what goes up must come down. Right? What goes up must come down. So that's the chun. Chun. That's your dragon claw. Right? That's your dragon claw. You have that. So, you know, many styles have similar actions because it's the same body. Everybody has 2 arms. You know, I mean, most people have 2 arms. I mean, if you don't, it's probably because, you know, and then 2 legs. So we just work with the same apparatus, just change it up. But we have to shift the weight. So we turn. That's a sliding step. That's a Yithimon. Xing Yi, that's a sliding step. Xing Yi has used the same footwork, right? Because you build, you're here. That's Yithimon. Yithimon. So there's your sliding step. If you use side movements, then that's the sliding step in Honga. So even in Honga, when you take your sliding step, it's not just this. You're here, then you kick your heel. You're here, then you turn. You turn this. You take your step, and then you follow up. So sliding step is always moving the front foot in Honga. When you move the back foot, it's another type of footwork, like this. Right. So in Bung when we do a sliding step, you're moving. So that's really closing the gap, but shifting becomes a soft step. But you also are moving in and not detecting that. See? So you really, it's kind of a silent step. You're just deceptive, right? Because once I'm here and I move in, I'm close and he doesn't even know that I'm, yeah. So that's, but at the same time you can't be rigid in the limbs. You have to be able to adapt that. So, you know, fourth form has a lot of basic movements that are really, really effective. So we have to understand those bridges. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So when you turn, you're in a leaning. You're going to shift and jump off of this leg, because what's happening is when you turn, this leg is going like that. So it's going like this, and then you're going to do your back fist. So that jump actually is the same. You're here, here, here. Same jump as in the stick form, actually. Because when the stick comes like this, when you jump, the stick goes here, it goes here, and that goes here, and then you strike. Then with both legs. Because what you're doing is you're sweeping, but then you're also avoiding. If he were to sweep, if he had a stick, he would be taking both of my legs off. So both of my legs have to be in the air. If I go like this, that's going to get it. So you have to leave. You got to go airborne with 2 legs. Then you land, because then you strike, then you poke, then you come here, here, and here. So your legs have to do that maneuvering. So it's sort of, yeah. Yeah. So the upper-lower coordination is really part of all that. So a lot of times when we're first learning, we're so focused on the hands, we forget the legs. You get focused on the legs, build just the lower body, and then bring it back together, just like everything else that we do. Right? You know, you start off learning this, everything is one-sided, then you build it together. Right? Okay, so let's do Gung Chi Kun. Okay, ready? So even in this, we have a lot of footwork. Okay, ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when you pull back, don't pull, sink. It's called dan kyo. When you sink, you get a jolt. It shouldn't be, yeah, like that. You see me? Drop. Yeah, and then go. 1, 2, 3, lift, down, thrust, sink, salute. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Go. Keep going. Elbow up. Grab. Push. Elbow up. Grab. Push. Elbow up. Grab. Push. On the fourth one, they're all the same. Don't let the elbows go out. They should be a little bit toward the center. Right? Hands are facing the ear like this, and they're sideways, not like this, just like that. So they're like 90 degrees to your ear. Yeah, and then sink, thrust, sink, cross, open, close, open, cover, back fist. Okay, back. Step. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Roll. Middle. 4. Go. Step. Middle. Turn. Cut. Sliding step palm. Elbow. Sink and thrust. Cut. And push. 1, 2, 3. And this is a corner back fist, so it's actually down the waist, lower. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then pull in and then go the other side. 2, 3. Trap. Middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, next 1, 2. Let's do that one more time. Back to we're here. Corner back fist. Take a step. Shift your weight. Move the hand in to here. Right? Yeah. So the inner edge is the receiving part of the forearm. So when you do your corner, when you step, here's your center line here. Your hand comes to here. So you have to sink your elbow, find your center vertical line. It's close. It's close. Yeah. So chin. From here, right, you turn. Pull. Turn. Pull. Turn. Sit. Divert. Dragon. So this is just back to center. So this isn't correct. It's just between the sinking here and the dragon there. Okay, then we turn, adjust, and drag it across, and sink the elbow, and then we step again. 1, 2, 3. Here's 3. 1, 2, 3. Divert. On 4. Yeah. So remember, when we're here, sink and yeah. Okay, not too far out because we turned. If you didn't turn, then you have to do that. Because we're turning, we only have to do that. Sink the elbow and then back. More efficient because once you it goes back in. You don't want to go from here. Yeah. Okay, next one. Cross behind. And this is out and in, out and in. And then we go to the next movement. Wind up the waist. Double block. Middle block. Down, up, out, and cross. Now, Gung Ji Kun, even though we teach it as the fifth form, the Hungar back before they had Muay Fa Kun and some of the other forms, you learn this form first. So when you're in this position, how they taught it was 1, 2, 3. So it's low, middle, and high. That's where our drills come from, right? But as a fundamental, that's what you're doing. So it was one at a time. It was kind of isolated to learn the basic structure. What we did earlier was this, right? That's a phase beyond this. Because the two sides are not actually integrating yet. So that just shows you as a teaching tool, as a teacher, you want to know the most, novice way of doing it, and then the progression. What's the progression? Yeah. It goes back same place as the first where it came from. So you're here, it goes in here, here. So it's really a low gate is where your navel is. That's the extent of the low. What's the extreme low is when your hands are here. Right. So in cloud hands, or you would have the trapping hand is a little lower because this becomes extended. When you round, then that becomes your circle. So the circle blocks become more of that. So a trapping hand, sometimes some people do it really long. So trapping hand, it's still a little bit lower than, but about the same, yeah. But there is, like in cloud hands, when we do, sometimes people will do them like this. They don't extend this arm. They don't realize that the full complete circle really comes from the extension of here. So here it's the hip. That's your reference point, is the hip. So cloud hands, it's the hip. To complete the circle. When we're here, you say, well, but actually when you stand up, it's still here. It's not much lower than that. Yeah. When we're here, when you stand up, it's not much higher than that. So that's what we're referencing. That's our structure. So we're building, the structure of our form, which is the framework. It's always talking about body framework, which is your skeleton. Right. So go from there. Ready? From here. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sit back, step. 1. So this goes up with the elbow. 2. You can step through as a training, but when you use it, you would just go directly, right? So, and then Pak Bu stomp, cross behind, cut, push, fold, close, and then hook foot, hook stance. So ready? You have to, so after you open and you close here, you hook, flip, push, adjust, cover, vertical elbow, pick, adjust, Lau, shift. One, this is your hook foot again. Now this is the opposite. One, other side, two, three, cover, pick, Lau. Okay, step to here, scoop, push, okay, sweep, lift this knee, turn, 1, 2, 3, and the left side movements. Open side, 1, other side, 2, high, chop, lift. Okay, so when you chop, make sure it's a long one. And repeat, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it here. Two, three. Uppercut, cross, chun kill. Sliding step punch, elbow, strike down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sliding step punch, and close. And there's your salute. So let's go to the butterfly again. Now, if we're going to link the two halves together, we adjust to a corner back fist, sliding step, and punch. And that leads you into the 8th form. Right? So let's do that section right from linking it together. The butterfly, right, which is 1. Yeah, he learned up to the foot side kick. So let's do that together. You can jump in, join in. So we're doing this corner back fist, sliding step, short punch, butterfly. 1, 2, 3, push. 1, 2, 3, push. Horse stance, punch. Horse stance, punch. Corner back fist, horse stance, lean, adjust. 1, sliding step. 2, 1, 2. Boy, they put talcum powder. It's really slippery there. Okay, ready now? Yeah, turn. Huh? Baby powder, yeah. That's good for doing splits. Sliding step punch, reach behind elbow, strike down, back fist, draw back, 45 degrees, circular movement, sink the elbow and push. Palm strike, adjust the back foot though. So don't forget to do this. Laima. Vertical palm, grab, side kick, spin, cover, right? Poke to the eyes, sink the wrist, crane movement. So it's vertical. So you poke here, 1, 2, 3. Cross step, just like in the 5 stances, corner back fist. That dragon flaps his tail. Then we turn. Then we fold the elbows and jump like that and end up here. Now we're going to point the elbow there, water punch, high block, palm strike, step through high block, palm strike, step up and press, trap hand, back fist with it's actually sinking here, and then lift. Okay, so that's new. Right? And then jump, yeah, and continue. So run through the rest of it, yeah. Yeah, you can do it again. From the beginning. Yeah. So yeah, so Paul, take them through. Eric, take them through. Yeah. So you're here. Then sliding step punch. Elbow strike down back fist. Yeah. Step back. Oh, this. Push. Yeah. And then palm. Side kick. Turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where we left. 1, 2, jump. So you just do a straight jump up, land in the horse stance, and bring the hands back to here. Adjust your foot. 1, 2. So you're using 1. Back fist. Oh, no. Yeah. Palm. Shrink. Yeah. Side kick. Cover. Yeah, this one comes to here. And you poke, sink, crane. 1, 2. Cross step to the corner. And then we're going to spin. Then you're going to close and jump. Yeah. The other, this way. One. High block to the corner. Palm strike. High block to the corner. Palm strike. Palm. Yeah. 1, 2. So palm, side kick, turn, cover, poke, sink, lift. Yeah. And then once you lift, you're going to go over there. 1, turn, jump. Yeah. And then go. So just like you know how when we salute that direction, same direction. Yeah. And then once you're here, you're doing this. 1, 2. This is straight all the way up. That's turn this, yeah, like that. So it's this, and this is the striking surfaces. See? High, boom. High, boom. These horizontal. Yeah. Any weight palm is horizontal, just like cross. Chest is here, chin is there, face is there. We don't really strike high. It's mostly at shoulder level or sternum here.
Most of the people I encounter are up here.
Yeah. So no problem. Boom. Yeah, there are some tall people around. You can practice that? You got it? You have it? You have it? Okay, yeah. Palm. And press, yeah.
So this is when we're grabbing the hands.
Yeah,
So I know the young kids, they stop, they pull back. but
yeah.
we move this way. Maybe you know that for the dad. The fun is the- So we come up with this step. Square.
So this, your bridge, see? Right.
So not right to bridge and then.
Yeah. So because what you're using that, and then here. See? So just, this is like this. But, depends on where you are. Right? So while we're doing this, the elbow. See my shoulder. If I just go like this, then but the structure comes from here. You see, you feel the change of this based on that. So when your hand does this, and your shoulder comes forward like this, then you see that becomes a unit. The strength comes from here, right? It becomes on top of you. This is here, but now I'm on top of you. Now you feel downward force. Right? So you maximize the potential of that position because now you're on top. So when we're here, and then you big, and you're here, and then you come up. Yeah. So when we're here, it gives me this gives me my vertical position. Then I come up because you're holding me, and I'm using this leverage as like a fork. That's a fork hand. Yeah.
This strap's pretty much where it needs to be. You just change it.
Yeah. No, but so when you
Not much more.
yeah. So well because I'm sinking.
Right, exactly. You're not doing much more. You're already where you need to be.
You need to be there. Yeah. So my sink. So when I go down, this goes up. If this goes up and I go up, then actually you'd be off balance. Because if I go up, and then when I go up and I go up, you just push me. Just push me this way. You see, because I'm taking my weight off. But when I go like this, now,
You're not floating.
yeah, chim kill, yeah. So, and then, what?
So this punch here, you sort of form the semicircle with this shoulders cupped
Yeah,
here.
you form an alignment.
And he's asking why versus this here. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
Why?
Feels
Because,
stronger this way. When I push his fist,
yeah,
when I push his hand,
yeah.
this feels stronger this way because it's in line.
Yeah, well, see, because you're like that, because now your force is actually that way. When you're like this, no, like this, now you have a strength through the body.
So Paul's right. This left is curled.
It's curled, yeah. It's cupped,
your elbows.
Not here.
not there.
A little lower.
Here.
Yeah.
So if you think about it,
Just like, when you chun kill and you go like this, then you actually, this side, it become a force in that direction.
Yeah.
So that takes away, when your force is going to be coming from here,
that's why we do this.
And punch.
and punch. Your elbow should be here. Then when I go like this, you put your power into your hand, right?
Okay.
You see?
Yep. Take the ball.
See, a punch actually comes from here.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
doesn't come from here. So when it comes from here, right, what happens? Right? Comes like that.
I mean, one way to think about it is like you have this sort of curve like this, it's already facing there, and all you do is just turning like this. This is still,
Yeah.
you still got that big position.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
Whereas this
refinement.
one here is like
All,
this,
our whole body,
too much.
when we do this,
Thank you for the refinement.
when we do this, a hoop, that's your hoop. When we do this, when we do this, those are little structures that we learn over time because we have to connect the two sides. That's a secondary hand,
Yeah.
right? So the secondary hand has to supplement the other side to have balance and integrity. So when this hand goes down, that goes up. When this hand goes down, this goes up. When this hand goes like this, we always, that's the relationship that becomes an innate natural movement. Right? Right. So if my hand is here and I close, I just have to do that. It doesn't seem like it's enough, right? But because I go like this, now I have another dimension. If I go like this, now my body did this.
Yeah.
When you feel this, this goes up there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Du Seong Yu Lo. You heard that, right? Du Seong Yu Lo.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Everything,
Goes up, it goes down.
everything goes right now. The roads are the same thing. Du Seong Yu Lo. Right side goes this way, traffic goes this way. Unless you're going on a one-way street. But if you're on a one-way street, you're isolated. You're like a one-way. So It's just a natural phenomena, a balance. Right. Okay, we're gonna bow. Is it about time? Yeah. Ready? Up. Salute. All right.
That's what Northeastern did.
What?
Some Northeastern students.
Oh, they kicked 32 kids. They had a party at
Yeah,
that.
they had a party.
Yeah, they expelled them and gave them
No tuition.
no tuition.
No tuition refund.
I thought.
Kept their. They signed a contract, right?
Oh, really?
Tuition. They can come back in January if they want.
They kept.
So they didn't lose it. It just postponed.
Actually, the first time I heard,
Interesting subtlety. They did not get it back, whether or not they lost it or they just postponed it.
actually the first time I heard news, I thought they said they gave them back their tuition. They didn't. Oh yeah.
They deserve. They deserve to be kept. If you're gonna break the rules and you get caught, break the rules, but don't get caught. Have a quiet party.
Astute. Yeah. So they. Yeah. So that was a wake up call, huh? That was a wake up call.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you were the parent,
You'd be pissed off.
would you be pissed?
Well, they're setting precedents. If you didn't do it for them, that's how, rules are. They're not made to be broken. They're made to follow. That's why there's chaos in some parts of the world, because people don't follow the rules. Right? I mean, in military laws, people don't like it, but the thing is, they have a lot of control. When they carry a big stick. The thing is, they'll hit you with it if you don't listen. That's why I like corporal punishment and how people used to raise their kids. That was not good, because it got extreme. Then it kind of became abuse. But when you're a kid and you're bad and you get smacked, you deserve it. Yeah.
All right, time for beer.
Oh yeah.
I have a quick one, and I have a 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. I gotta wash my hands because I use soap and then I use Perel.
Oh, you go first?
In the beginning when they first came up with this and they were doing all these talks about the corona, and they were saying, why you have to wash your hands. And you need like the bacteria stuff to kill the virus and all that stuff. But you know what they were saying? The best thing to wash your hands is with dishwashing detergent, because that COVID thing is a little oily and breaks oil is dishwashing stuff. So it breaks it up, it goes away. So you don't have to kill it because it's really not on you then. So if you wash with soap, like dishwashing soap. So you know what I did at home? I have one of these automatic dispensers, right? I don't put hand soap in there. I put dish soap in there. So every time I wash my hand, I'm,
Using dishwashing soap.
and it cuts the grease and it rolls off, and then you can sterilize your hand.